So Alex Arthur on the hunt for titles at lightweight. Says he's still as fresh as ever, even though he's into his 30s, in both terms of age and fights. Of course, a former world champion. He held Ricky Burns' title, WBO super featherweight crown. He's moved up to 135 pounds now. Alex Arthur says he's still got lots to give. He finds himself in with the Isle of Wight assassin this evening, Jay Morris. How many people he leaves stone dead in the Isle of Wight? I think anything prefixed by the Isle of Wight doesn't sound that scary, does it, Colin?
No, it sounds what it is, a holiday resort. Oh, it's a very good right hand.
31 fights for Alex Arthur, 28 wins, just 3 losses. They were key ones though, Michael Gomez in a British title fight. As Jay Morris has a look at the referee.
Yeah, he got hit low there, no
blow.
doubt about it, and Arthur acknowledged the fact that he'd hit him low.
So some key losses for Arthur. Of course, the Gomez fight, that was a while ago, back in 2003, more than 7 years ago. And more recently, lost to Nicky Cook, outboxed.
See
in
that?
Manchester. There's the low blow.
Very low too.
He's taking his time here, Jay Morris, to...
Well,
can't really blame him,
I don't want to go into great detail, but that protective cup probably pinched him as well. It's very painful. He certainly wasn't faking it, because we saw the replay.
No.
And the punch was very low.
So a full recovery. May take some time to come. Looks to be missing his sparkle a bit, Alex Arthur, in his last few fights. Of course, that loss to Nicky Cook that we mentioned, then Nigel Wright beat him as a year ago in Newcastle on the Amir Khan card. He fought once since then, beat Peter McDonough. It must be hard though, Colin, to have been a world champion, to have had all the adulation and suddenly you're back down the card.
Yeah,
not only that, losing record.
He's not even live on Sky Television tonight. They're filming it and put it in the can, and if things fall short later on in the evening, they'll put this on to as a space filler. That's what I'm afraid he's down to now, which is a great shame. But I was talking to somebody about him earlier in the evening. He stayed at super featherweight too long.
He didn't fight often enough, did he? That was his problem. He was fighting twice a year. Various injuries and other problems outside of the ring.
I was in Kuala Lumpur when he won his gold medal, which of course was a long time ago.
98.
98.
He was a talent as well, wasn't he, Colin?
Very much so. There was a certain gentleman who also won a gold medal in those finals. His name was Audrey Harrison.
Audrey or Audley?
I did say Audrey. Very nearly said something else.
Fraudly. I remember Alex Arthur turning pro as a decade ago, and he really did look the real deal, and he was for a long time, wasn't he? He was a British, Commonwealth, European champion at super feather. As if he might fight Scott Harrison at one point, that fight never came off. There's talk of a rematch with Michael Gomez. An unforgettable fight against
That's
Gomez.
when, of course, he should have immediately turned to lightweight after that Gomez fight, but he didn't.
Were you there for that one, Colin? Up in?
No, I wasn't at ringside. I watched it on television.
Probably the most intimidating atmosphere I've ever worked in. I think not a huge crowd. It was sold out.
Yeah.
I think it was at the Meadowbank in Edinburgh. A fantastic fight, one of the best I've ever seen. Gomez won it, of course.
Yeah, that was a major upset that night.
It was Arthur. Excuse me. To be fair, came back well from it. Came back to regain that British title, to win the European, and then win his world title. Never been the quickest of starters, Alex Arthur. He has always been heavy-handed. 20 stoppages. Stops some good fighters as well. And of course, he holds a win over tonight's top of the bill, Ricky Burns.
Ricky Burns has come on a bit since then.
Yeah, he has. You wouldn't fancy Arthur to beat him now. It'd have been a good fight if he'd have fought Scott Harrison, wouldn't it, Colin?
At that time, it would have been a tremendous fight.
I'd have paid money to have seen that.
I don't get carried away, Ian.
Imagine the atmosphere, East Coast, West Coast.
Oh. Well, Edinburgh and Glasgow, tremendous rivalry.
Absolutely. Well, there's another rivalry boiling up between Ricky Burns and Paul Appleby. Two guys who fight for titles on this evening's card. Talk of them meeting somewhere down the line. Of course, they're from the opposite sides of the Scottish coasts.
I don't know about you, Ian. I don't think there's the snap in Arthur's punches like there used to be.
Oh, I've said that for a while, haven't we, Colin?
Yeah, but I think once again, apart from that one that strayed low, he's not causing Morris too much pain.
Well, when you're fighting a guy with a record, what's his record? 13, 16 and 1, I think. So a losing record. And a guy who's fought at world level, you really expect Arthur to go out there and put it on him. Looking at his record here, it was 05, 06, 07, 08, 09 he had. 10 fights in 4 years.
Not nearly enough. When they used to fight, I don't know, 15, 16 fights a year.
So since December 2004, so 6 years ago, Arthur's had 11 fights.
Well, that's the answer, isn't it? Nowhere near enough. I mean, he was injured, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, it's not been through laziness or a combination of injuries, a lack of opportunity, I think, in Scotland with Scott Harrison going AWOL and no other real headliner up here.
Well, just cross the border. There's plenty of room for fights down our way.
Well, he didn't. He got beat, didn't he? He went to Manchester to fight Nicky Cook. Really wasn't at the races that night against Cook. A nice guy, though, Arthur. Very hard not to like.
Yeah, and very articulate guy, and I've had many an enjoyable conversation with him. But you see, when you watch these two, would you say, in fact, the stranger walking in, that the guy in the white shorts was a former world champion? I don't think so.
Well, by rights, there should be a huge golfing class. I mean, Arthur's winning the fight, don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
And he's a nice little uppercut there. But no, he's not dominating as you'd expect him to.
Exactly, that's exactly right. You'd expect him to be completely dominating Morris. and he's not. He's winning, but to me there's something lacking. It's not the old Alex Arthur by a million miles.
Look, I have this one in the phone box at the moment. Arthur doing the better work. Seems to be much power, does there, in his
Well, as I said, you know, a few minutes ago, there's no snap, no. He's not causing Morris any distress whatsoever. I mean, he's scoring more points. I mean, he's landing more point-scoring punches, but they're not having any. I mean, it hasn't stopped Morris walking forward, has he?
No. The crowd can sense that all isn't absolutely right. A few cries of "Come on, Alex! Come on, Alex!"
Well, I don't know whether Morris didn't win that round, you know.
No, I don't think so. Not for me.
I don't know. Arthur's just
Mouse under the right eye, Alex Arthur. He's working on that in the corner. We're looking at Jay Morris at the moment. Also having a bit of work done there. He's had a whole run of trainers, Alex Arthur. Jimmy McDonald was there, wasn't he? Freddie Roach.
Yep.
Peter Harrison. Wayne McCullough.
Yes.
Terry McCormack. There's a few others as well.
He nearly had as many trainers as he's had fights.
Yeah, there was a point where it was a different trainer every fight.
All with different ideas, so, you know, a bit confusing, I would have thought.
Carries on burrowing forward, Jay Morris. Not throwing too many punches. There's one. Arthur the busier. As we've said, that lack of power just means that can't keep Jay Morris off.
But he's the more accurate puncher, Arthur.
Yeah. He's in a tough division as well, though, Colin, isn't he? This lightweight division.
Yep.
I think.
I can't see Alex going any further than being an 8-round fighter at the moment.
Well, he's talking world titles, but you've got to get to British titles. You think John Murray?
Well, I wouldn't
Current
like to see him in with John Murray.
Murray's a European champion. Rumoured fight between Arthur and Kevin Mitchell.
Yeah, I suppose there are fights out there for him, but it's going to be interesting to see how Mitchell comes back. Not only from that defeat by Katsidis, but also from eye surgery.
Morris is certainly making it tough for Arthur at the moment. Not giving him an inch. Bit better from Arthur. Snap to his work. I said he has always been a slow starter. I remember when he fought Ricky Burns.
Yeah, but they're in the
Slow.
4th round now, Ian. How much slower is he going to get?
Little nod between the fighters at the bell there at the end of the 4th. Arthur well on top in terms of rounds, isn't he, Colin?
Sure. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's... but no one's getting hurt, that's for sure. We've got both having damage to their cheeks, cheekbones, swellings under both eyes. Or should I say both have got swellings under their right eyes. Now you see Arthur landed a perfect left hook on the replay and did not faze Morris whatsoever.